as somebody living in Japan, I really don't understand the discrimination against Korean people. For historical reasons, some Korean people are living in Japan, and I don't really understand the government's policy to distinguish between the Japanese nationality people and Korean nationality people, because it's a legal distinction. But at the end of the day, one of these second generation, third generation Korean people, were born in Japan, and they are Korean nationality just on paper. But still they cannot vote in the national election, and there are many restrictions, and on top of that, there's some discrimination still. I don't personally, find any reason to discriminate against Korean people, but some people, keep saying that Korean people are this and Korean people are that, and some people even say that when if you don't like Japan, you should go back to your country. Wait a minute, these people were born in Japan. And another, really intriguing thing is that we cannot really distinguish between a Japanese and Korean person. It is open secret that in the post-World War Japan, many entertainers, many big names in singing and acting and so on were actually Korean its in their origins. If you look at such films like Parasite, which won the Best Picture in the Academy Awards, you realize that this knack for entertainment. If you look at BTS, this mastery of the entertainment business, like singing and acting and so on, is probably uniquely Korean characteristics. We can argue about why this is so, but the fact is that the Korean people seems to be very good at entertainment, right? So in the post-World War Japan, many people of Korean origin, became top stars in the singing and acting world, and but they performed under Japanese sounding names, probably because of discrimination and all these things. So that's a fact. So that also means that it's really difficult and in many cases impossible to tell who is Korean and who is Japanese, because we are all related. After all, when you think about it, all human species came out of Africa. Hello, black people, white people, Asian people, brown people. They are all descendants of our common ancestors in the Africa. So we are all out of Africa. So we are all same species, biologically speaking. So this concept race is suspect, very suspect. Having said that, it is very difficult to distinguish between Japanese and Korean people. So what I'm saying is that I really don't understand some the attitudes of some Japanese people to discriminate against Koreans, because hello, can you really tell the difference? I don't think so. I recently I've been watching Korean dramas like Crashing on You or Itaewon Class, and some of the actors and actresses could pass as Japanese, because there's no such essential differences. Of course, they speak Korean, and there might be some slight variations in behavior, and that's all wonderful because the human culture thrives on diversity. So it's a good thing that the Japanese culture and Korean culture are slightly different. But having said that, we are all in the same continuous spectrum. So I really don't understand, to be honest, why some Japanese people would keep, discriminating against Korean people and Korean culture and so on. Personally, I think it's a shame. I really don't understand it. Anyway, and once I actually watched a film rien de declare. I will not excuse my French. It is this discrimination against each other between French and Belgian people. What? Hello? I mean, from us, indistinguishable. I'm sorry to say that because especially French-speaking Belgian people and French-speaking French people, indistinguishable. So famously, Hercule Poirot, the detective, always complained because people mistook him for a French, while he was a Belgian. So this was a great point to be made. Okay. So probably, seen from a French person or a Belgian person, French-speaking Belgian person, the difference between France and Belgium might be huge. But seen from a distance, well, they are on the same boat. I mean, they're on the same page. I mean, they are in the continuum. So I think, this is happening everywhere. I mean, people tend to make such a huge fuss about the tiniest differences between people because they are so concerned about that. But seen from a distance, it's nothing. So from seen from the vantage point of some other regions in the world, of course, Japanese and Korean people are very close together, and that is really great. So I really think that it is high time that we say goodbye to this discrimination thing. You know, and I think we should really celebrate our differences, and we should all come together. And I think Japanese entertainment industry has a lot to learn from Korean entertainment industry. So Nishu is a really great example of girls group coming out of a collaboration between these two countries. So here's to the future of Japan Korea collaboration, and say goodbye to this really stupid discrimination thing because that doesn't belong to the 21st century.